Hi friends. So this channel covers birdwatching and reading books. This will be the first video which covers both. This is my collection of guidebooks for birdwatching. Um, I have 6 books here to show you. So this is only my second video about nonfiction books. So, without further ado, let's go. This book is my first book of my first birdwatching guidebook that I have. It's got a lot of wear and tear because I brought it out in the field. This book was initially very successful, very useful. Sorry, not successful. Very useful for me when I went out into the field for the first time. I could identify all the birds by quickly whipping out this book and finding and identifying the various species. But initially, as I became more adept at finding birds, as I developed my skill, this book is very, very dated. I believe this was published in 2015. It's very, very dated. There are some geographic locations which the book claims specific species of birds are not to be found, but actually they are. And this book doesn't even have all the birds that are identified are not even in the photographs. At the end of this book, there is actually an extensive list of species. But anyway, so they don't have all the photos of the birds that I see out in the field. There are certain geographic locations where they say certain birds are not to be found, but they were found by me. I actually tried to contact the publishers of this book, but for whatever reason, their email is not working. I wanted to say, hey, you need a new edition of this book. You need a new edition of the guidebook for birds of Indonesia. But this book has experienced water damage and pillage because I kept bringing it everywhere I went, and I experienced all kinds of weather like rain. But anyway, this is the first book I used when I initially went out in the field. Now, this is from an old library from 1996, published 1996. This is an old library book from a library that is no longer around. This is birds of Eastern Indonesia. Now, this is much better than the last book because let me just show you here. These plates, these illustrations are much more better because some of the photos in this book are under bad lighting or bad angles. So sometimes I could misidentify certain birds because the photos were not very good. This one is much more comprehensive. I mean, this one has much more, how do you say it? Detail in the illustrations. So I love it. I love it. The problem is, this is a bulky thing that I cannot take out into the field. I wish I could get this edition of the book, but in a smaller soft cover edition. A smaller soft cover edition of this book. I saw some university students with this book that had the smaller edition. I want that because then I could take this book out in the field much more easily. This fits in my bag, but it's a little bit burdensome to be whipping out every time I say, that bird, that bird. Anyway, so that's birds of Eastern Indonesia, which is much more which is much more helpful in identifying birds for me now. This book was initially very useful, not so much anymore. This one's much more useful, but only after I return home from a birdwatching trip. Next, a work colleague of mine got me this one. This is in Indonesia. This is birds of Western Indonesia. Similar to that one, it also has the plates. It also has these beautiful illustrations. This book is for Western Indonesia, so Sumatra, Java, Bali, Kalimantan, which is Borneo. So that one, this one was Eastern Indonesia, which is Papua, Sulawesi, and the Moluccan Islands. This one is in Indonesian, and a work colleague of mine gave this to me. So I'm very grateful for that. I haven't gotten the opportunity yet to go to Western Indonesia to do birdwatching trips there, although I would like to. Next up, this is Birds of the Netherlands. Now, my aunt gave this to me during my 2022 trip to the Netherlands. It's not Holland, people, it's the Netherlands. I like the feel of this one. It's a thin hardback, and I like this orange color here. It's in Dutch, but if I type the name of the bird in a Google search, it'll also give me the English name. So this one I used when I was bird watching in the Netherlands. Thank you, Aunt Femi, for getting that for me. Now, this book is all the birds of India, but also Pakistan, Nepal, Bhutan, Sri Lanka, and Bangladesh. A friend and work colleague of mine got this one for me. He invited me to go to India, and he has some bird watching friends there. Shout out to you, Pranab. Yeah, he has some bird watching friends in India, and I will take him up on that invitation to go to India one day and do some bird watching there. That would be very, very exciting. So I haven't had the opportunity to use this, although I would imagine, just like the other hardback book, even though this one's a soft cover, this one would be quite difficult to take out into the field because it is quite heavy. But that's only because because India and all these other countries are a much larger area than Indonesia. So there are many more birds recorded in this one. But yeah, one day I will go to India and use that book in a birdwatching trip. And finally, birds of Singapore. I recently took a vacation to Singapore, and I identified 6 new species of birds on my life list. I bought this at a gift shop at the Botanical Gardens, the Botanical Garden gift shop, Birds of Singapore. And I used this to identify 6 new species of birds. And just like the Dutch one, it's relatively thin because Singapore is a small country. So these guidebooks for birds in small countries, I like them because they don't take up a lot of space on my bookshelf. Yeah, so every country I go to do bird watching, I hope to get a guidebook for the bird species of said particular country. All right, I apologize if I repeat myself sometimes. It's an annoying habit I have as someone with ADD. Thanks for listening in. Goodbye.